Hi and welcome back. I'm Paul Scalabroni, volunteer here at Battleship Cove, and this week's a little different. We don't have Tom because we're on the Kennedy, and we're starting to do a lot of restoration projects on the ship here to try to get it so we can get the ship in a lot better shape, because over years with COVID setting in, loss of staff, not enough money to maintain the ships, some of these spaces and exhibits have gone by the wayside. And obviously if you look around the room, we have a lot of paint issues. We got water intrusion because we had issues in the upper deck with rain coming in. So we're trying to reverse this process. So we're going to show you around kind of what we're doing right now in this area, which is the former Burke exhibit. If people used to come to the museum, you used to be able to come down this hatch here, come into the destroyer exhibit, and you'd have all the panels, and it was a whole process you walked through here, and it was a nice exhibit. It's going to maintain some of that when we reopen this to the public, but we're also going to be putting a lot of the berthing racks and some of the compartments back in and get this kind of as a dual purpose space where you can kind of see how the people slept on the ship, and also we'll still have the Destroyer Museum exhibit. So some of the projects that we're working on right now are basically the deck over here. Over the years, as the compartment was closed to the public, a lot of stuff gathered on the deck here. People just put equipment down. Things just kind of got forgotten about. So as some rainwater got in, the hull, the deck on here started to look actually like it was really seriously starting to corrode away. And in a couple places it did. Around the hatch here, we do have a few holes, but it's nothing serious. We can actually cut those out, replate over it, and we're going to be good. We thought this part of the deck was actually really bad, but once we got the stuff off the deck and started to treat it, Josh, one of our volunteers, basically started taking the metal down to bare steel, and to our surprise, it's actually in amazingly good condition. It pretty much started out looking like you see right here, and then once we cleaned it, we ended up with that. So in terms of actual metal replacement, there's very minimal we have to do down here. Obviously, we got to patch some of the leaks that are overhead, and that we're working on right now. But what we're also doing is some of the compartments you see in the deck here are storage spaces, and over the years a lot of equipment gets put down there, and sometimes we forget what it is, or sometimes it doesn't belong on the ship, and we need to make sure that those spaces are clean, because that's literally the hull of the ship down there, so we can't have equipment sitting on it, and we need to make sure that everything's safe. So we're starting to get all the compartments emptied out. This is probably the worst of the bunch. It doesn't look very sightly, but when we're done down there, which is today's effort, we're going to get this completely cleaned out, vacuumed, get everything up, and it looks bad now. When we're done, it'll look nice and clean, and you won't even notice that it ever was that way. And then anything that goes back down there will go into the shelves. It won't be sitting down on the hull itself. So we can protect the ship and keep anything that happens. If we know there's a problem down there, we'll be able to see if there's a problem right away, which we don't anticipate. And then the other thing is, can't do it this season, but the overhead, obviously, we got to strip it and paint it and get everything in order. Because hopefully, if everything works out to plan, we can get this compartment back open to the public sometime late next year. Get everything painted out, get all the displays back to where they need to be, and then slowly but surely we'll work our way forward into other compartments. We have a couple guys actually working forward here in another storeroom. That's Greg and that's Chris. Say hi to the camera. And they're actually working in another storage compartment down below, where there's some equipment down there, but it's in pretty decent shape, and we can use it as a temporary storage room for a lot of stuff we're moving here, and keep it there while we restore this space. So that's pretty much our ongoing efforts for today. We're going to have some footage of us doing the cleaning and stuff. We'll put into the video as well. And everything else is going to happen as we go forward with this project. This is going to be a multi-part series. We're going to be running this probably, we're going to be working on this ship well over a year into next season. So look forward to other projects like the engine rooms we're going to try to get opened up. The whole fantail of the ship, once spring comes, we're going to take it down to bare steel, paint it, get it treated. And there's lots of spots all over the ship that right now we hit with Flex Seal. And those we know we need to get new metal on so we can get the rainwater to stop coming in the ship, because that's our biggest problem. It's not the ocean, it's actually rainwater coming down and getting into the ship. That's what causes most of our problems here. So, like always, we need help. Obviously, the compartments don't look great right now, and we know that, but we're working on it, and when we're done, this place is going to look brand new. And we want people to see this because we want you to realize that we're working on it, and we need help. Come down, volunteer. If you can't volunteer, then get out, spread the word about it. We also take monetary donations. You can contact Battleship Cove on the website, and you can donate just to this project or any project here at the Cove, but we do need help to keep these projects going because unfortunately we don't have infinite money. We actually have very little to keep these ships going, so any kind of donations and any kind of volunteer help goes massively to help us keep these running. So we'd like you to like, share, subscribe to any of these videos. Again, pass it out on social media and just get the word out. And also, anybody that used to volunteer on the destroyer, realize that we're working on it again. So if you want to come back down, it's a different environment. We're active teams working on this every Saturday now, and we can get it going. So just get involved if you can and help us out.
Paul, looks like you got this thing well in hand.
Yep, basically we emptied out the storeroom, and you see the giant pile behind Tom, and that's the second pile we made today. We did this actually twice. And a lot of the equipment is going to come off the Kennedy, and we're going to start storing it on the battleship, so we can get it out of our way, and it's going to be a lot more stable on the battleship. It's going to go in compartments that can't possibly get water into them because they're going to be way, way down on the ship, temperature controlled, climate controlled, so the equipment won't have any problems. And then as we need it, we'll pull it out. And the other advantage, we're finding stuff we didn't even know we had, like the quarterdeck 1MC box, which we actually need on the battleship. It's not even a part we would use on the destroyer here, but it was tucked away way down in the storeroom, and we found it, and now we can use it on the battleship. So it's one less part we have to 3D print, and we can actually put an original back in place.
A lot of these things came off of Des Moines, and which was a heavy cruiser that we were able to get parts off of, and we generalized, got everything we could because they were both built at Bath. Up in Quincy Shipyard. Thank you. Blech, brain fart. So we got all that together, and it was stored as a catch. So you can't get this stuff no more. So you have to store it. You can't just get rid of it because things will be broken, things will happen, and we're storing a space. You can't just go to the Battleship Home Depot and get it. So we tend to get a cache of stuff that we know that we're going to need, use, and if anything, we have an original. If it's broken, we can come back to the spare, and when we get the 3D printing back up to go again to a more continuous basis, we can actually do that, and it all comes together. But getting rid of something, we have to segregate it, and keeping it stored and ready to go for those days that when you do have something to do and you have the spares available.
And bring it into the light of day. Now we know we have it, and we have an original. If we want to scan it, we can make a template of it, and we'll have a digital copy as well as the original. And then pretty much the next steps forward in this compartment now is we're going to take care of this pile next week, get it onto the ship, and then we're looking into options of actually getting this compartment and the compartment forward of us heated, whether it's going to be through electric heaters or through kind of a mini split system, wherever we can figure out the way we're going to go. We'll get this climate controlled so we can get paint on the deck, get the overhead taken care of, and then when this becomes an exhibit again, it'll be temperature controlled year round, so the paint won't have any problems. We won't have any problems with condensation getting onto the bulkheads and causing any issues with the steel ever again. And then once this compartment's taken care of, we move on to the next, and we'll start making videos as we go through the ship.
Correct. So it's one space at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Same with the ship. We got to take it one step at a time, one battle at a time.
But again, if you like this content that we're making, like, share, subscribe to our channels. Follow us on Facebook. There's the Battleship Cove channel. There's the Joseph P. Kennedy channel. Also Tin Can Sailors. You can find information out there. And then our website, if you want to volunteer, we have links for that on board. Also donations on the website. Just if you're interested in what we're doing, come down and get involved.
Every little bit helps. Everybody helps. It's part of the team spirit here. And we try to do that. We're trying to preserve the fleet for you.
So I'm Paul Scalabroni. I'm Tom Lowney.
Tom Lowney.
So we'll see you guys next time.
Take care.